Hey everybody, I'm back with a new crazy DNA story. So if you've kept up with my channel, you know that I did a DNA test, found out that my dad is not my birth father, biological father. Both of my dads have passed away. I did find out eventually who my real father was. Found out that I have two brothers and an uncle here close. I don't keep in contact with my brothers. One I talked to one time, the other I met him, went to lunch, everything was great. Haven't really spoken to him since. We had some disagreements, reached out and had some disagreements, so that's that. But my uncle's great, still keep in touch with him, love him to death. I met my grandfather, my biological grandfather, and he was very skeptical to begin with, didn't really want to believe it. He's still pretty grumpy, but I think that's just his personality. But he did show up for my daughter's birthday party, which says a lot. He lives about an hour and a half away, so he did show up for my little girl's birthday party. And if he didn't think that we were his family, he wouldn't have driven all this way. He's probably about 80 years old, and I know that that was a difficult trip for him to make, so obviously he does believe it, or he does care. So we're making progress. A twist to this story. My biological father's last name is the same as my husband's ex-wife, her last name. So I've heard over and over again, which is something you don't want to hear from anybody, that I look like a lot of like my husband's ex-wife. She and I obviously don't think that that's true, but except for when I first met my husband, she and I both had blonde hair, same basic body shape. So from a distance, I could see how people would think that, but our facial features are a lot different. But now that we have the same last name, we're both curious as to whether we're related. And it matters because my husband has 3 children with her, and then my husband and I have 1 daughter and a baby on the way. So it does matter because, that could possibly make my children related to their half-sisters and brother in another way. They could be cousins and sister and brother, which is a typical Alabama story. So that's why I want to know. That's why it's important to me to find out. There's nothing really I can do about it, but I still want to know. We want to know for our own curiosity, because our family are from around the same area. So it is possible that she and I are related. Could be cousins, could even be sisters. Who knows? So I'm waiting on her now. She's going to bring my stepson here to bring him back home. He spent some time with her over the week, and so he's ready to come home, and we're gonna pick him up. And I bought a DNA test. The Ancestry DNA tests were $59 instead of $99, and I went ahead and picked up 2. I got one for her, and then I got one for my husband as well. He just was intrigued by the results that I got, and he wanted to go ahead and do a test as well. So we're gonna have her spit into the tube, and then I'm gonna send it off and see if it comes back that we're related. And it's just crazy. We'll keep you updated on what happens with that. I guess, like I said, there's nothing we can change or nothing we can do about it, but it is interesting to know. So it's the story gets crazier and crazier by the minute. I'm just gonna keep this on while I'm driving because I don't want it to shut off on me half the video. I don't have a editing software anymore, so I have to keep this going. I'm pulling up here and they're not here yet, but I have to say I'm pretty nervous about this. I don't know why. I guess it's just something that you would never expect to happen. Out of all the people in the world, all the last names in the world, how on earth did I come back with the same last name as my husband's ex-wife? And I actually didn't realize that she was her parents were from the same area that my mom was from, or that she used to hang around. And the thing is, her mom actually told her, excuse me, sorry, I don't know how I got a cold in the middle of June in Alabama. It's 100 degrees outside. But she was telling me that there's a possibility that her dad is not her birth father. So it's crazy how many people in this world have no idea who their parents are. their real biological parents. They could either be adopted and no one ever told them, or they could be, you know, the product of a one-night stand. They could be product of a failed relationship that no one ever wanted to talk about. They could have had a mom or dad who stepped in place of that absent parent. My story was supposedly, my mother says that my biological father, they were together for a few weeks, which in my opinion shouldn't have got pregnant within a few weeks, but he just slept, that she never heard from him again. He just disappeared. So my dad was in love with my mom and was willing to step up and be there, which I loved my dad to death. He's a good man, and I know he was proud to have me, so that's fine. But it is important to know who your blood family is because of health reasons. My biological father, he passed away supposedly of a liver cancer, or something wrong with his liver. And now I have found out that I have a condition called MTHFR. It's a gene mutation, and I get it from both parents, actually. And it has caused me to have 6 miscarriages. And I do have one little girl. With the help of a few medications, I was able to have my little girl, and I'm currently expecting again. So if you have had recurrent miscarriages and you can't afford to get tests done at the doctor if you don't have insurance, or sometimes the doctors won't even help you, they won't send a test for you to do that because they don't think it's relevant. But trust me, I'm in a Facebook page. There's several Facebook groups about MTHFR with thousands and thousands of people who have had the same problems, whether it be the man or the woman. If you have this mutation, it can cause pregnancy problems. So sorry, I can't stop coughing. So if you just do this simple test and you show your doctor, yes, I have MTHFR mutations, either one or two. You can have one copy from one parent, or you can have from both parents, which is worse. And it affects your liver. It affects how your body processes folic acid during pregnancy. And so I only have about 20 to 25% function of my liver when it comes to folic acid, and I have to take pure folate. So by taking folate and taking a blood thinner, because it can also cause blood clotting on the placenta, I'm able to have children. So that's very important to know, and you don't have to wait until you've had 4 or 5 or 6 miscarriages to find out. I had to learn the hard way, but I just had to happen to have a doctor who knew about it, and she tested me. And but it also shows up if you can't do the test, you can do Ancestry DNA is the cheapest one that I've seen, $99. They do specials a lot during the holidays for $59. I did the Father's Day special, but they do, I think, around Thanksgiving and then Christmas. You can get, or New Year's, you can get a $59 test. And it doesn't show you right there on that, but what you do, and I can put this all in the description box, you get the test, you take it. When you get your results back, you can download your raw DNA, and then you upload that to a different site called Prometheus, and it will show you there. It'll show you thousands and thousands of SNPs, that genes and different things that you could have, and it'll highlight them in green, yellow, or red for good, unknown, and bad. And then you can go in the search and just type MTHFR, and that's going to tell you if you have 1, 2, or one copy of. There's 2 different variants that they really look for, and then there's you can have it from one parent or both. I wish that they would hurry up, because I'm sitting here just I don't know, it's a weird feeling, but I feel like I'm just rambling on waiting for them to get here. But definitely having these tests done, a lot of people get upset saying, oh, well, I don't want to have my DNA in the FBI system. Your DNA is already there. When you're born, they've got anything that they need. And if you haven't done anything wrong, I don't see the problem with it. Personally, I think of it this way. If I was missing, if one of my children was missing, I would really want them to be in the system, so that if somebody found them and they could, or if they, or someone kidnapped them and put them into a different school system, or if they just found the child, or they found a body, that makes it so much easier for the government to be able to identify these bodies that are found, and just give the family an answer. It's It could help them, you know, if your child is walking down the road and someone thinks they recognize them, the kid throws a lollipop or a gum, they can use that to try and find your baby. I mean, that's the way I think of it. I think of it in a positive way. I don't commit any crimes on purpose. So if it's anything, it's something silly, you know, speeding or whatever, which is not good. Not condoning that. But anyways, the point is, I'm not worried about the government having my DNA because I don't plan on committing any crimes to get me in trouble, and I hope that they could use it in a positive way if I ever needed it, which hopefully none of us will ever need that, but at least you have that peace of mind knowing my child's DNA and my DNA are in a database so that they can find us if we are lost. While I'm waiting, I really would love it if any of you would comment or share your stories if you've gone through the same thing, or if you've even had something as crazy as this where you could be related to somebody you've known for such a long time, whether it be a good thing or a bad thing. It's not really a bad thing if I'm related to her. It's just weird because who would have thought? But it would make it weird for my kids though. I could be their cousin and stepmom. It's just crazy. But if you've ever gone through this, just go ahead and leave me a comment below. Let me know if you were able to find out how did it work out. And it's going to be even more interesting if she finds out that her dad isn't her biological father, because then we'll be on a new adventure. I'm sure she'll want to know. So then we got to get some more tests and see who she belongs to. Her sister does look exactly like their dad. So which that doesn't always mean anything. I've always thought I looked like my dad. I've always thought I looked like my aunt. Same body shape, same teeth, same eyes. I've always thought I looked just like a cousin of mine as well, and it's crazy that I'm not even related to them. So, but one good way for her to find out if her dad really is her biological father is to, since he passed away already as well, so she could test her sister or one of her brothers, or someone who knows for sure they're from that family, to find out if they are related. Another thing I'm going to do is have my daughter tested, because I know for a fact that I have it. I'm not sure about my husband, but he's going to do a test as well. But we want to have her tested because, and all of the other kids, to be honest, even his children, because his ex-wife had a problem with their first child where she had blood clots, and she thought many times that she was going to lose the pregnancy, and she had a difficult time. So it's possible when you have one copy of the mutation, it does cause problems, but you can still most of the time have a good pregnancy, or even if it's difficult, you can still carry full term. The double mutation is when it causes usually miscarriages or stillbirths. So, and I know she's lost some twins too. She has 6 children, so it's possible that she may have one copy, so we want to test their children as well to find out if they have this. And the reason why, a lot of people say, oh, don't worry about it until they're older, but there's things that we can do now to help them not have any problems in the future. I have 3 little girls. I would be devastated if they had to grow up and go through, sorry, it makes me emotional every single time, but miscarriage is difficult. It is heartbreaking. It messes with you. It's very difficult to deal with and cope with. I'm lucky to have my daughter. I'm lucky that so far my baby is doing well, but it's scary. The whole pregnancy, I have to go to the doctor every 2 weeks because I'm so paranoid. I want to check the heartbeat and check everything and check my blood and everything, make sure everything's okay, because I know that at any moment, even though right now everything's good, I could lose the baby in any moment. So I'm being extra cautious and going every 2 weeks just to check, just to make sure we can hear a heartbeat. But I don't want my girls to go through that. It is heartbreaking, it's stressful, and we can prevent it. Right now, I know that folic acid, it comes in a lot of different foods, breads, anything that says enriched and it has gluten, it's gonna have folic acid. Folic acid is like poison to me and to my baby. Most people are thinking, what are you talking about? That's what they give you when you're pregnant. And that's true. Folic acid is synthetic. It's a chemical made, lab made thing that they give you while you're pregnant, because it's cheaper than buying folate. But folic acid turns into folate in most people's bodies. In mine and anybody with the double mutation, it just sits there. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't get to your baby. So in the first couple of weeks of pregnancy, that baby needs folate to form the brain and everything. I mean, that's the most important. Even if you do have a good pregnancy, your baby has a very high chance of having a neural tube defect like autism or spina bifida or many different things that could go wrong. And if you can prevent that, why not? You know, the vitamins, they cost between $30 and $100 depending on how much you need. And I'm actually working on something right now, and after I have my baby, so that I won't stress myself out too much, I'll wait till after I have the baby. I want to work on a non-profit organization that will spread awareness and that will also help pay for folate prenatal vitamins for those who cannot afford it, because I do understand, trust me, I've definitely been in a situation where $30 a month it seems impossible. So I want to be able to help somebody, because just because you don't have a high income doesn't mean you shouldn't be a parent. And I don't think you should, don't go out and have 6, 7, 8, 9 kids if you can't afford to feed them. But if you want to have a baby and the only thing that's holding you back is getting the proper medication, I want to help you. And I can also help with figuring out ways to stop spending on certain things, sodas, eating out and things like that could help you save that extra $30 a month. But I want to help as many people as possible, because everybody deserves to at least have one child of their own. I know people who have spent thousands and thousands of dollars on IVF because they thought they couldn't keep a pregnancy. Sorry, I'm looking around to see if she's here. When that might not have been necessary if their doctors would have just checked them and given them the right medication. So with a blood thinner, I can't do the blood thinner for you. You have to get that prescribed for a doctor, but I can, once I get this nonprofit going, I will be able to provide the vitamins that you need to keep a healthy pregnancy. One thing you can start doing is start taking a baby aspirin already every day, and that will help prevent blood clots, because usually those miscarriages happen between 4 and 5 weeks, and most doctors will not see you until you're about 8 weeks. And another suggestion is you need to just beg and cry. I wouldn't demand that they see you at 4 weeks or as soon as you get a positive pregnancy test, but I went and I cried and I begged and I called every day, please let me have an appointment, please, just to check my blood levels. I know they were not able to see anything on the ultrasound, but they were able to check my hormone levels to make sure they were going up like they should, because that's a very early sign that you're gonna have a miscarriage, is if you check your blood levels and then you go back 2 days later and check it again. If it doesn't go up double, you might be having a miscarriage. But those are some things you can do to help prevent it in the first place, is start the baby aspirin and start the folate vitamins, which you can get those from Centurion Labs. It's called Bump, B-U-M-P, and that is the $30 one. You can also get them from, I'm trying to think of Dr. Lynch's Seeking Health, seekinghealth.com. You can purchase some more expensive vitamins, but I'm sure they contain a lot more ingredients. And Dr. Lynch, Ben Lynch, is someone you should look up on YouTube. He is an expert. He has MTHFR and he is an expert, so he can answer any question. His videos are very informative and they're easy to understand. So just those are some things that you can be doing. I'm sorry for rambling. she was supposed to be here at 5 o'clock. It's 5:36 and I'm going crazy here, but we will pause it for a little while and see if she gets here. She is still not here, but when she gets here, if she lets me put her in the video, we're gonna get side by side, and I want y'all to tell me if we look alike or not. It's not gonna hurt my feelings either way. Can't help. It is what it is, but I don't see it. Everybody else, I don't know if they're doing it just to be funny, if they think it's cute or funny, but I have seen, she and I were even talking about all these couples that their ex and their new spouse look so much alike. It's crazy. But I guess it's just normal for somebody to have a type. I mean, think about anybody you've dated, or if you have been married more than once or dated more than one person, they probably have a lot of similarities because that's just what you like. So we'll see. One thing that's funny though is one of my stepdaughters, the oldest one, all the kids live with my husband and me, and people ask me all the time, even before I had my little girl, they would assume that the oldest girl was mine and the other two children were his, because my husband's Mexican and their mother is white, super white, blonde hair, blue eyes, very very Caucasian. So if you look at them two together, the oldest girl and her mom, they look exactly like she looks just like her mother. But with people not knowing that I'm not their mother because we live far apart and the kids are always with me, I have heard so many times that my oldest stepdaughter looks just like me, and it's just so crazy. I never really paid attention to it. I'm just like, oh well, it's because her skin color, she's very light skinned and the other two are very dark skinned. So, or not, it's kind of weird. One is super dark skinned, the little girl, the youngest girl. The boy is medium. You can tell he's mixed, but he's not super Mexican. And then the middle child is of those three, she's very white, and she used to have super blonde hair. It's getting a little darker now, but crystal blue eyes. And then my daughter is like her brother, like the oldest one. She has the medium skin tone. When she was first born, she was very Mexican. She was black hair, dark eyes, and she looked exactly like my husband, and now she's lightened up and she looks exactly like me. So it's funny to see people's reactions when they realize that my stepdaughter speaks Spanish, and to see it's like she and I stick out in the crowd when we take a family picture, especially when his parents and sisters are there with all their Mexican families. And then it's me and Elena, the little white girls, in the photo. It's really funny. But like I said, it's just weird because now it would make sense why she looks like me if I'm related to her mother and related to her. We started to just do the test on one of the kids to find out if I was related to them instead of asking their mother to do it, but with her, she was willing to. She said it was fine, and I figured it'd be better to involve her and not the kids in case they start asking too many questions. They know what happened when I found out that my dad was my father, but they're little, so they don't really understand it too much. They're just like, oh, okay. And I didn't want to be asking them, oh, spit in this tube for me so we can see what happens. I didn't want to go into detail and explain it to them, so she agreed to doing it, which I really, really, really appreciate. It's most people are probably like, no, I'm not doing that for you. So, and also to help her find out, you know, I'm sure there's that curiosity there to know whether or not her dad was her biological father. She could have brothers and sisters just like I do and never even know it, and they could be just living right here close. So it's crazy how things work. I've been rambling for 23 minutes, but I think she's finally about to be here. She just texted me. So hopefully soon. Don't click off the video. You're gonna want to see, I want your opinion. I want to see what you think about us supposedly looking alike, and then make sure that you watch the follow-up video. I think it takes like 2 weeks to get these results back. I can't remember. I think mine was faster than that, but they tell you to give it at least 2 weeks. And I'm sure with everybody buying these on sale, it was probably there's probably going to be a lot more people sending theirs in, and it's going to take a little longer. So we'll see. But don't forget to watch that video, because it's going to be crazy to find out if we're related or not, or if she doesn't even, I could be related to her sister, not to her, if she doesn't belong to that family. So we'll see. She's almost here. I have such a cheap phone that I cannot flip the camera, but I literally just saw this little boy pick his nose and eat it. That is disgusting. Kids, if you're watching this video, please do not do that. Get a tissue. If you don't have a tissue, just throw it on the floor. Don't put that in your mouth. That's awful. My heart is literally pounding out of my chest right now. And it's funny because we do fight like sisters. We will be mad at each other and then we'll get over it. And it's like nothing ever happened. I think I see her pulling up now. Moment of truth. They're here. Can I video you?
I guess.
Here she is. Take them glasses off because I want to know, is it true? Do we look alike? Y'all need to tell us, because that's all we hear all the time and we don't want to hear it anymore.
I can see.
Is it true? Alright, we're going to do this DNA test. because I've been dying to know since, was it March that I found this out?
Yes.
If it's true. So she's going to spit in this tube right here from Ancestry DNA. And then we're going to mail it in a couple of weeks. We're going to know.
I really have to spitting?
Here she goes.
This is so gross. Saliva is the worst thing ever.
It is disgusting. And you have to do it until the bubbles go away. So you have to the bubbles will separate from the clear stuff. It's gross.
Oh, okay. I see. This is pretty cool though. So it doesn't go all the way in?
Yeah, you spit it all the way in there and it's going to fill up to that line, and then you take the thing off and you twist this and that blue stuff falls down in there, you shake it up, and that's how they preserve it.
This is so nasty.
And here's the one we've been waiting for. I haven't seen him in such a long time. I was telling him how it's crazy how all three of them, and even Sophia, have different skin colors. My daughter looks like him.
Sophia.
And then Lola is like straight Mexican. Elena is just like her mother. That's her twin right there. Almost done.
You got it? It's gonna go sideways in there. This is so funny.
Are you
Are you live? Yeah, I'm trying. Look.
No, it's not live. I'm just recording it.
It's down in there. Ooh, so nasty. You're gonna have to go the other way.
As soon as the clear stuff gets above that line, it'll be done. I do want to show them how it works with the little blue thing. That's pretty cool.
You're gonna put that lid on here, or you want me to?
You can just take the funnel off, and that can go in the trash. And then
Screw this on.
yeah, you have to do it pretty tight, and then that blue stuff will start falling in there. There it goes.
What
And then you
is
shake it
doing?
for 5 seconds, and then all I have to do is just mail it in, and
Let's see.
we'll see what happens.
Maybe record.
Are we sisters? Are we cousins?
I don't know.
Or is your daddy not your daddy?
Or is our daddy's brothers?
Oh my gosh, that's possible too.
We
Because
never
apparently my grandfather was the same as my dad, just a little promiscuous thing, having kids left and right. So we'll see.
Who's your dad tall?
I have no clue. I don't really
That's
know.
where he gets so tall.
My grandpa is. He's super tall. Okay, well,
Bye.
it'll take about 2 weeks, and then we'll figure this out, and we will let you know what happens.